From bar drinks to 7K, how one night completely shattered my life and changed everything. I thought my life was normal. 2 jobs, paying bills, single. I thought I was surviving, doing okay. But one simple favor, one text, completely flipped everything upside down. It started as helping a friend hang Christmas lights, and ended with me questioning everything about myself, my choices, and even who I really am. I had no idea how deep the spiral would go, how far I would fall, and how much I would lose before I even saw it coming. And it all began with a drink at a bar, a message I couldn't refuse, and a single decision that changed my life forever. I'm 31, and if I'm honest, life is a mess. My mid-20s were full of promise. I had energy, dreams, a sense that I was building a future. But slowly, without noticing, alcohol crept in, and gambling became more than a pastime. It started harmlessly. A few drinks with friends, then weekend gambling, then weekdays chasing losses, trying to feel something real, anything to escape the monotony and stress of life. Now, I work 2 jobs. I'm single, I have no kids, and despite all my effort, I'm buried in debt. I do have some retirement savings, money I put away in my younger years, but it's not enough to pull me out of this hole. Sometimes I think about borrowing against it, just to cover bills, debt, rent, and that thought, it never leaves me. Every night I lie awake, watching the ceiling, thinking about how I got here, what I did wrong, and what I can do to fix it across the street from my apartment. There's a small bar I've been going to for years. It's familiar, comforting. A place to disappear for a few hours, escape reality, escape myself, the regulars. They're a mix of friends, acquaintances, and strangers I've known for years. People from early 20s to late 70s, all carrying their own stories, struggles, regrets. And somehow, in this cramped little bar, we all fit together. It's strange how loneliness creates bonds between strangers. But somehow it does. One of my good friends is Lynn. She's in her 50s, warm, funny, and beautiful in a way that doesn't scream for attention. Effortless, natural, magnetic. Spending time with her makes life feel lighter, even if only for an hour or 2. I started hanging out with her outside the bar. Just the 2 of us. Talking about life, laughing about nothing, sharing small victories. Moments you don't realize you're missing until they're gone. But then, there was Barb, Lynn's friend. Older, mid-60s, and she made it obvious she was interested in me. At first, subtle. Sitting near me, laughing too loudly at my jokes, buying me drinks. Always watching, always present. Then it became obvious. She was attracted to me. And I was not even slightly. She was older than my mom, and no part of me was drawn to her. At first, I tolerated it. Her humor, her energy, she could be fun. But over time, it became suffocating. I couldn't hang out with Lynn without Barb tagging along, and I missed the private moments. Just me and Lynn. I tried to avoid thinking about it, but Barb was relentless. Always nearby, always watching, always leaning just a bit too close. 3 weeks ago, everything changed. Barb texted me. "Hey, can you help me hang Christmas lights this week? Food, drinks, anything you want while you're here." I had been drinking and had lost the last of my cash gambling, so I agreed. Her building, brand new, ultra-modern, upscale. I had visited before, but didn't know the top floors contained enormous luxury condos. When I arrived, her apartment took my breath away. High ceilings, floor-to-ceiling windows, stairs leading to a massive bedroom, marble counters, soft lighting, plush furniture. Everything perfectly placed like a magazine spread. I complimented her place, and she began telling me her life story. A messy divorce, legal battles, one daughter refusing contact, another barely speaking, and a loneliness that seemed to fill every corner of the apartment. "I just feel so alone sometimes," she said. "I haven't had anyone to talk to for years." I listened, offered sympathy, grabbed a beer, and started helping hang Christmas lights. The apartment had countless tall windows, so it took forever. We laughed, joked, drank. The combination of alcohol and tension blurred my judgment. She moved closer and asked quietly, "Do you want to take a shower with me?" I froze, didn't want it, but didn't resist either. The warm water ran over both of us. Her shampoo had a faint floral scent, and the apartment felt surreal, isolated like a separate world. The city outside hummed with distant sounds. But inside, it was only us, a charged silence that made me uneasy. She reached out, touching me, and I stiffened. "You can touch," she whispered. I swallowed hard, trying to separate reason from impulse. I told her softly, "I don't want sex, but you can touch if you want." Afterwards, we lay on her enormous bed. I couldn't believe how big the room was. Ceilings almost cathedral-like. The city lights cast patterns through the windows, and I saw my reflection, a man unsure how he got here, how he let things escalate so far. "What would it take to get you to, you know?" she asked bluntly, a trace of mischief in her voice. I stared at the ceiling, unsure how to answer. My drunken brain made a stupid joke. $200 and a frozen pizza. She didn't laugh. Instead, she looked dead serious. "I'll give you 400 if you make me feel satisfied." I felt disgusted at myself, yet the cash was tempting. I needed it. Bills, rent, debts, all pressing down on me like weights. Over the next week, the pattern became clear. She texted again. I went over, and negotiations began. A payment, a favor, a sequence that felt wrong but necessary. I was trapped between survival and morality. Every time I left her apartment, shame washed over me, and yet relief followed when I saw my bank account a little healthier. Lynn, oblivious. She never knew the depth of my interactions with Barb, but I avoided her when things with Barb escalated. I felt guilty, conflicted, and trapped in a cycle I couldn't escape. At the bar, I tried to appear normal. Pool games, casual drinks, laughter, but my mind was elsewhere. Every glance, every laugh from Barb reminded me of my entanglement. I wondered what my friends would think if they knew. And fear paralyzed me. Barb's wealth made everything surreal. Her condo, her clothing, her lifestyle. It was worlds apart from mine. And yet here I was, participating in a transaction that made me feel both powerful and degraded. Gambling lost its allure during those weeks. Money from Barb allowed me to pay bills, buy groceries, fix my car. A strange relief accompanied the shame. For the first time in months, I felt some control, even if it was built on morally gray foundations. The next few days blurred together. Texts, visits, payments, conversations, and I began to rationalize my actions. It was survival. It was necessity. It was complicated. Every interaction with Barb made me question myself. Was I weak? Was I greedy? Or simply broken? The reflection in the mirror each morning reminded me of my contradictions, a man capable of friendship and care, yet willing to compromise morals for money. One night, Barb came to the bar. Her presence was commanding. She greeted friends, made small talk, and then sat next to me, brushing a kiss against my cheek. My friend's jaws dropped slightly, and I felt my face heat up, heart racing. I wanted to disappear. "Will I see you later?" she asked. "I don't know." "Hit me up," I mumbled, my voice small, betraying inner turmoil. I didn't return to the bar for days. The guilt, the secrecy, the constant negotiation of my own morality. It consumed me each time I considered stopping. My bank account reminded me of survival. Each moral compromise was a battle with my conscience. I realized I was addicted, not just to alcohol or gambling, but to the relief that Barb's money provided. It dulled the pain of debt, loneliness, and failure. Even as it amplified shame and self-loathing, I began reflecting deeply. If I had not succumbed to alcohol, if I had managed my finances better, if I had avoided gambling, I would never have been in this position. And yet, here I was, living a dual life, friend to Lynn, shadowed by Barb, a man torn between survival and self-respect. The days merged into nights. Drinks, texts, visits, a cycle of shame and relief, money exchanged for moments that left me questioning who I was. Barb's presence in my life forced uncomfortable self-awareness. I was no longer just a man struggling with debt and addiction. I had become someone willing to compromise fundamental morals for immediate relief. The realization was heavy, like a stone pressing down on my chest, and still, I couldn't stop. Each dollar, each favor, each visit created a chain that tightened around me. The guilt was constant. Yet the relief from bills, rent, and debts kept me trapped. I started imagining the consequences. What if Lynn found out? What if my friends saw? The thought of exposure filled me with dread. I realized that the combination of alcohol, gambling, and Barb's enticements had created a perfect storm. I had to reconcile with myself, to understand why I continued, to recognize that I had choices, even when they were the hardest to make. And in these moments of reflection, I realized something important. Life's spirals can be sudden, deep, and consuming. Even small choices like helping hang Christmas lights can ripple outward, creating consequences you never imagined. Barb's wealth, her presence, her demands, all became a mirror reflecting my weaknesses, my needs, my fears. And while the money temporarily eased my burdens, the emotional cost was immense. I started writing down my thoughts, reflecting on patterns, on how addiction, desire, and survival instincts can warp morality. I realized I needed a plan, a way to break free, and to regain control of my life before it was too late. This story is messy, complicated, and deeply personal. It's about choices, survival, morality, and human weakness. And while I'm still trapped in some ways, I've begun to see a path forward, a way to reclaim my life, my dignity, and my freedom. Thank you for listening. If you want more real-life stories like this, subscribe and turn on notifications.